Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Duffy. And tonight, we are reviewing our routine heartbreaking loss against the Western Bulldogs. Final scores were Carlton 11 goals 975 to the Bulldogs 12 goals 1183. There's a new way every week. They find a new way to break our hearts. Always has to be close, even if it's an 100-point loss. It's just a new way to break your heart. But Daf, that's the first time in a very long time that I've kind of entered this podcast not knowing really what to say. Usually I have some sort of an idea, but this is why it's good doing a conversation, like having a conversation with you, because it's good to actually talk about it. And then we can talk about things. But right now, in this point in time, I've got absolutely nothing to say. It's the same shit every week. We've lost 13 of the past 15 matches, which is quite confronting to realise that. But how are you, mate, to start off with? I wouldn't imagine you'll be too good, but is there anything you can really start us off with before we get into the episode?
It's I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've just got to the point where I'm not even heartbroken anymore. It's not even heart. It's you know, it's past that level of heartbreak. It's not even surprising anymore. I'm walking home. I'm going, like, what is the point? What is the point? There was 45,000 people there tonight. Another disappointment. Another disappointment. Like you said, there's just we just find a way to lose the unlosable. We're up all night, and I just knew when we couldn't put it away in the third quarter, I just knew they'll come steaming, and then what happens, Patto? The panic starts setting in. Players lose their ability to hit targets. They just panic and rush and just second guess and do really dumb shit. So it's, like you said, I don't know. I'm not even angry at this point. I'm past that. We've seen this story so many times. And like I said to you off air, what is the point of building up next week's game? We're going to be there, of course. We want to win, of course. But we just build ourselves up. Build. And I do it. We all do it. We build ourselves up to get to this stage, to go to a game and back these boys in. And they just fuck it up. Simple as that.
Yep. I'm just having a look at the stats, and it's pretty similar to, I mean, it was a close game, so you probably would expect it to be quite similar. But time in front, we were 108 minutes and 10 seconds time in front. Obviously, when Carlton were in front in the game, and Western Bulldogs were only 15 minutes and 3 seconds time in front, which that pretty much seals it there. And it's all good. Apparently, we run our games pretty well, according to Michael Voss, which is always good to hear your coach say that stuff about, we run our games, no problem at all. I don't know when we're actually going to take some fucking accountability for once in our fucking lives. This club finally starting to point some fingers. I don't even care if he comes out and points the fingers. I want to hear accountability. I don't want to hear the nice things of, it's all good, we put in the effort. It's not an issue. Every single press conference that Michael Voss is involved with, the questions are hitting hitting the nail right on the head. Spot on every single time. I want to hear those questions. But the answers are just fuck all. It doesn't give us anything. And I don't understand why he can't give his supporters more. We mentioned it in the preview. When you come on to media press conferences that only we can see you because the club's so fucking private.
Yeah. Yep.
The one time that we actually want to hear something and explain to me why you guys aren't performing and what has happened from round 15 last year against Geelong. What has happened? Come out and tell us, what have you been doing over the preseason? What has happened? Fuck all. And I cannot understand why it is so frowned upon that you cannot come out and explain to us why you are performing like that. I haven't listened to tonight's press conference, and I'd be very intrigued straight after this episode. So I'm probably speaking right now, and he's probably coming out and saying this is why we are not performing, and this is why we are a shit side right now. But we can only go off what we've seen, and all preseason is like, yep, players are ready, yep, they know what to do, yep, we are contending for a premiership. You deliver that fucking shit, which is 2021 stuff, and it is simply not fucking good enough. And I don't know when we can actually head towards a successful mindset.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, there's my issue is they just avoid. They just keep avoid the result-based stuff. That stems down from back in the Bolton days when he said it wasn't about wins and losses.
It was about the green shoots.
Yeah, and like we can laugh about it, but it just continues to go. But don't worry, Patto. Don't worry. We'll have a new sponsor tomorrow. We'll have a new sponsor. We'll have $58 billion in revenue, which is great. Great. But I would rather be $30 billion in debt as a club and win games of football. What are we here for, Patto? I'm not here to fucking go, yes, Great Southern Bank, yes. I'm here to see this team be consistent. I'm taking the piss a little bit because it's a joke. And I'm like, how old are we? We are 22, you're 23. It is getting ridiculous. We've seen the same thing for 22 years. And people will go, oh, but, you know, we made a prelim and we choked a prelim. We choked a prelim that we accepted.
Yep.
We choked a prelim. We choked a premiership opportunity. And I just read this. I just read this stat in terms of when you were talking about the running out of games. So in the first 3 games, in their first halves, we're plus 48. Fantastic, right? Fantastic. We're plus 48 in total.
Yeah.
Second halves this year, running out games well, minus 89. Yeah. So first halves,
great.
Yeah. Great. And there just seems to just be, we just don't have the clutch factor, do we? We just don't. We just don't. We don't have, people always talk about, oh, but the last 10 minutes of the game. No. They call the third quarter the premiership quarter. And we always fail in that quarter. We might go hard in the last quarter. The game's gone. Cottrell missing shots from 15 metres out on the run. You just know, and I know people listening here, and I know you know it. You just feel it in you. You just go, oh, shit. That's it. And people go, oh, no, but that's just one moment. No. How many games has he played? How many games have other people played where Doherty, 15 metres out, snap, doesn't make the distance? And I'll touch on him later in the video. But those moments where guys who have played years and years of football are failing, Patto. These guys are not teenagers. They're not teenagers anymore. What is Doc, 32 years old? 150 plus games? Chance to kick a goal to put yourselves up 3 goals in the third quarter? Can't do it. Like, what's going on here? It's a circus.
And these players have been playing together for a good amount of time as well. Like, it's not even the experience now. Like, say, like a Nick Haynes is coming into a new system, so you probably could understand if he takes a few rounds, and I think he was really good tonight. I know that there were a few errors that are a bit questionable, but everyone had their errors. I think he was probably one of our better players. But the players that have been around this system for years now, and they still can't find a way to close out games.
No.
It's a new... Well, I don't even know what to say. And is it just simple enough that we are actually just not good enough?
I think so. At the moment, of what we can base on in 3 weeks.
What do we say, though? What do we say week by week? We can only go off by what we see.
And of course, we're not saying our best will be good enough, but we haven't got to our best yet.
Exactly right.
So at the moment, like you said, we both said we were better tonight, and I thought we were good tonight, and we still lost. So
Scary
that's a
thought.
massive issue. And
Huge.
my big worry is we can't score like we haven't. Last year where we would be like we couldn't even get those patches last year where we would break open the game and you'd be 6 goals in about 6 minutes. You know what I mean? You go like a 6 goal, 7 goal patch. We just go bang, 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 and the game's done. We just can't get those. We can't even get the patches anymore. You know what I mean? Where we get to a 90 points, 30 points up, game done. Charlie's kicked 5 in about a quarter. You know what I mean? Like we can't even get that anymore. So I don't know if that was just, our superstars standing out last year in those types of moments and carrying us. But yeah, like I said, before we got on the record, if you told me that Lewis Young, Kemp, and Curnow would combine for 10 goals, including 5 from Kemp,
Yep.
I'd say would probably win the game. Yeah.
Mm. That's what I was about to touch on now. And yeah, when I said obviously off here about Cam kicking 5 goals, Charlie Curnow 3, which I mean he kicked his first three, I believe, in the first
Yep.
half.
Yep.
And then Lewis Chung kicking a ripper to kind of ignite that fourth quarter. And yeah, so Kemp 5 goals, Charlie Curnow 3 goals, Lewis Young 2 goals, and Jesse Motlop with the opening goal. And I think he decided to leave early, quite like as soon as he kicked that goal. I think he left early to go home. Like a lot of those players did.
Mm.
They only really, I'm not too sure why, but they only really show up for one half. So it's either
Mm.
they just split their paychecks and
Yep.
say, "Yep, sure, you only
Yeah.
show up for one half. Okay, you
Yep.
only
Yep.
you only get paid a one half." But no, it's all right. They still get their paychecks every week. Still be able to take their partners out for dinners. That's absolutely
Yeah.
fine. They'll probably be over
Yeah.
it in the next few days. But yeah, us supporters pay their mortgages, unfortunately. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm just
Mm.
going to quickly touch on some stats, and I thought Tom DeConning was absolutely fantastic tonight, and I want to
Yep.
see your
Yeah. Yep.
thoughts on him especially. But 28 disposals with 28 hitouts, but I think he actually lost the hitouts in the end to Tim English. But I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of those hitouts, you probably realise that the hitouts
Mm.
that Tim English actually got was against Lewis Young. It wasn't really against Tom DeConning.
Yeah.
It was English first DeConning. I think Tom DeConning probably got the better of
Yeah.
him. But what was your thoughts on his game? Because there's been a lot of conversation about Tom DeConning if he can actually play as a sole ruckman, and I think tonight it shows that he is well and truly that
Yeah.
sole ruckman, and he cannot do any more than what he did
No.
tonight. He took like 8 marks, but I thought, and
Yeah, no
also
big
sharing
marks.
clearances as well, which is
Yeah.
like unbelievable. But what was your thoughts in his performance, and why is he like obviously he's impactful, but I guess in terms of the sole ruckman, I think that it's pretty clear tonight that he definitely needs to be that sole ruckman without Pitto.
Yeah, I couldn't speak higher of his performance. I thought he was superb last week. Killed Meek.
Yep,
He'd be leading our BNF, I think, for sure at the
yep,
moment. He's our best player. I think that's pretty clear at the moment. I think he's our best player in terms of he's getting to that stage of his career. I think he's, what is he, 25, really starting to hit his straps. So, yeah, no, really, really good. I thought he beat English tonight. I'm not saying English was terrible or anything like that, but yeah, fuck. You know what I love about TDK now that he's added to his game? Defensive
yep.
50 marks. Defensive 50 marks, and he even got one taken off him because of the Wiedering free kick against Darcy when they're both holding each other. But, I'm
Actually,
not.
a good mark as well.
Yeah, yeah, it was a ripper. So that would have been 9 marks. But yeah, no, phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. He's definitely the sole ruckman. I'm not sure how Pitternet finds a way in. I'm not sure. Because if he plays, Pitternet would have to play centre bounce. He can't play as a forward.
Mm.
He can't. Like for a long period of time, I don't think he can. So the way Lewis Young's playing, I don't know if you can drop him. Like the whole Mackay situation's obviously kind of up in the air. Hope he's going okay because that would have been a perfect game for him tonight.
Yeah,
Gee, it would have been perfect. And it's frustrating under the lid having him. But yeah, Tommy was fantastic. I thought he was our best. And there was obviously a few other names, a lot of other names I thought that were good. That's the frustrating part, Patto. Just as a collective, we just can't find a way to finish a game off. or just put the foot down. Like, fuck. It's been an issue for so long. So long. How many coaches have we had? It's not, is that a coaching issue? Not being able, the personnel just can't finish off games, Patto. Like,
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's a coaching issue.
No.
You know what I mean? The players just aren't clinical enough, and people. There's obviously parts of the game you can blame a coach, but let's be real here. Finish off the game. Is Cottrell's miss a blame for Voss? No. He's given away, you know, kick out, inside 50s and goals. He'd blame after a while. Like, I'm not sure. It's a bit of, obviously you blame both, but the sole blame cannot be on the coach.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's why I think the way that I see it is we are getting ourselves into a position to actually win the game. And our first half was very good, and I actually knew that Mike Voss didn't really change much in that second half. You could clearly see it.
Yeah.
But Western Bulldogs obviously adjusted, but then they brought the pressure, and we say it every single week. We poo the bed when the pressure and when the game. Yep. And
Mitch McGovern.
Experienced player.
How many times? How many times did he fuck up? How many times did he fuck up tonight?
So shaky.
But he does it every time. He takes a world's greatest mark, and then he'll just rush of blood. And it was right near me. That handball receive, he tried to give it to Haynes or someone running past, and it was never on. Got smothered, end up being a goal. How many times? Like, he plays with Jacob Wiedering, the calmest bloke on planet Earth. How can't you just learn off a guy like that? It's just terrible, Patto.
I think he's one of those players next week that might need to consider being downgraded to the VFL, realistically. If we really want to.
He won't be, though. He won't be.
No, of course he won't be. That's what I'm saying.
They'll drop Lewis Young.
100% they will.
Tonight.
But that's what I'm saying. It's players like who have a bit of security.
Doherty,
yep. I mean, they choose to drop Camporelli, but it's all good. They play Sam Doherty. It's all good. We have their. I don't even know if it's arrogance, because I think it's just more like safety, because we don't.
Yes.
It's
safe.
It's safe, but it's like yeah, but he performed pretty well 2 years ago. We're just hoping that he brings that form from 2 years ago. It's all
terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, and well, like we had these players that we've been crying out for, like an Ashton Moyer, Cooper Lord, Lucas Camporelli, like all these guys that kind of should be playing right now. I mean, Lucas Camporelli is a bit tough, but I think Cooper Lord is one of those players that is stiff to get dropped. And I mean, but also there's probably a reason why they're not playing, and that's why the question goes to our depth is very questionable. And that's why I thought I would also bring up about the coaching. How I see it is round 15, round 16, when we were actually playing quite well, and that was probably the last time that we really brought that sort of football, was like the personnel out there is pretty similar. And I think Michael Voss has been like, he obviously got us to a point where we were second on the ladder, like at the back end of the season, and we dropped a lot. But I mean, that's just what happens in seasons, unfortunately. But that's when you then move into this year, and who knows, it might be the exact same thing as 2023, where we start a little bit poor, then find our form. It's very hard to tell. And I think we're frustrated right now, but as you say, and as you love to say, is it's week by week. And I love that thought of it, because I'm one of those people that look towards round 10 and be like, oh yeah, but by then we should be 6-4. But like I was thinking about me, like I was looking towards West Coast and be like, oh my god, we can be 3-1.
Yeah.
Now we're 0-3 heading into Collingwood. And
it's right. It's scary. It's scary when you're not like, you don't have the confidence or the. I don't trust them anymore. I'm not going to tip them until they win a game. That's what I'm going to say now. It's delusional. We're delusional, and it's delusion because we love the team and we want them to win. But it's delusional. We're not the powerhouse we used to be back in the 90s. They always. I love the history, because we should be proud of that. We should be proud of that history, because we've got better history than a lot of clubs. But it's got to the point, Patto, It has got to the point where we need to create our own history right fucking now. And we're not. We're wasting it. Cripps is 30. Like, how much has the man got to do? Like, for the club? They've let him down time and time again. It's just ridiculous. And yeah, you're right in terms of the older guys playing that shouldn't be playing. Doherty shouldn't be playing. He's past it. He's past it. I'm not saying the whole loss is blamed on him. He's past it. He's finished. He's finished. It's just, you don't take the risk. You take the safe option, like you said. You play a Doherty and you go, he's got the runs on the board because he's played 200 games. You don't play a lively guy like, I don't know, Camperelli. And the big issue for me is our development of our young guys. Clearly, they're not good enough. If Harry Lemmy's been in the system for 4 years, 4 years, 3 years in the system, and he can't get a game as a forward when Harry's out. That's a big issue in development. Clearly, he's not good enough. And then, Moyer's not getting a game. I know it's his second year, but it's getting to the point, Patto, where underneath, they're not good enough. The young guys aren't good enough. But we also don't even give them a shot.
Yeah, but I think that's because they're not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big worry at the moment. It's a big worry. And, people were saying, Jagger Smith, he hasn't played a game, won't impact our team. It will impact our team. Nick Newman will impact our team. Just little guys like that. I'm not saying the personnel, but yeah, selection's going to be next week. Oh my God. If I see, they've got to find a way to get Lewis Young in the team because the way he's in form.
Yeah.
And he's playing to the best of his ability. I don't care if it's behind the ball or in front of the ball. He's got to find a way in that side, whether Harry's back or not. But yeah, that's going to be a whole different. That build up to that game is going to be. It's going to be the least excitement for a car. They will batter us. They've just come off a bye, and if that's our best and we still lose, I don't know, Patto.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the squad now, and probably the two kind of names that come to my mind when I actually look at the players that kind of haven't really broken into the side yet, and it's Jackson Binns as well. Like in terms of the development, and we have the audacity to trade a guy like Paddy Dow away. We have the audacity to trade a guy like Jack Carroll away. Matt Kennedy tonight. Like it makes sense to me if you actually go out and perform. If these players are to be traded away, and I feel like I always go back to this, but this is the only thing, and this is why I was going to try and finish what I was saying about round 15, round 16. The personnel there, we had Matt Kennedy, we had Jack Carroll. Like it's not like we didn't have those players. So those players have left, but now we're still in the exact same position. So you can't even really blame the depth because the players that we traded away in the depth, they were gone in, like they left last year, but we're still performing the exact same way right now. So I'm lost for words at the moment for how we are playing and why it is such a difference from round 15, round 16. I don't know what's falling in the back. There's something falling in the back of the camera, but right, round 15, round 16, we were performing our best football. People were putting us as premiership favourites, and now we're at a point where not really a lot has changed personnel-wise.
No.
And we're still not performing. And I don't think we have improved our list at all. Like, yes, we brought in Jagger Smith, but we gave up a lot to secure him. And I think he's going to be a champion player.
Yeah, I think, it's tough. Like, it's frustrating that he got injured too, because that just creates the whole topic as well of trading those guys out. I think our personnel should be good enough to win games consistently at the moment. And we're not. We're just not performing collectively as a team. And then the whole press is going to go on the recruiting, and then the whole pressure is going to go on everything else. Right. It's like, fuck me. Like you said, the personnel's very similar. I don't think Jack Carroll's a handy player, right? Is he really going to turn us into an A-grade team?
No, of course not. But it's
Yeah,
depth.
I get it, but yeah, I don't know. It's really frustrating.
Because I thought that was probably the first thing. Like the past few weeks, I'm like, oh yeah, I just think it's that depth that we've kind of lost, and that's why like in the next few months we need to try and test the depth that we've got already. But then after tonight, I thought about it, and I'm like, hang on, we traded the depth away, but
Mm,
we're still in the same position. Like
mm,
I can't. It doesn't make sense to me why we would do that. But you know what's also funny as well is like our salary cap is very very tight.
yeah.
And say like a Collingwood, like they are contending for a premiership and they've probably got a premiership list. I just don't think our players are good enough. Like
Mm. It's
our
a yeah.
12 players are fantastic and probably the best in the league, but it's the bottom. Like
Yeah.
that's how you
Yeah.
are a good, like that's how you prove that you're a good side, because everyone is like
Mm,
a collective. And
mm,
that's why I don't know how many years we need to give them to finally
yeah.
unite and actually find a way to win games. This is 2019 shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the bottom half players. It's players that aren't good enough probably playing. You know, guys like Cottrell and guys like Doherty's probably not up to it. I don't know
Cowan.
why at the moment he's playing bad yet, but who's coming in? Nick Newman's injured.
Exactly right.
So, and it's frustrating the whole, you lose your depth and you probably lose the depth piece with Jagger Smith as well. He probably kicks someone out of the middle. It's those are the uncontrollables, and it's frustrating because we're losing right now. Um, but yeah, it's my issue is I think we spoke about it off air, is the recruiting of the bottom half players and the recruiting of the preseason rookies. We always take the safe option. We always take the played at three clubs, Frank Evans types. And that's not a dig on him at all. But it's more like just go out and watch the VFL. Werribee the best team last year, right? They won the premiership. They've had four guys recruited. Four guys are playing at AFL level consistently right now. One of them won in the game against Freo last week. Riley Bice kicked a winning goal on the run. And we've got a small forward pocket. Like, and like you said with the salary cap, if we do not make finals this year, I will bank on it. There'll be some big, like not big names, but there'll be names gone,
Mm.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say two names. Nothing wrong with their performance, but just because of salary cap and just because we have to blow shit up, be Zach Williams, it'll be McGovern and players like that. Players like that in that second tier who are getting paid a lot of fucking money, who you might have to move on to get some guys in. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get rid of TDK. You're going to get rid of those second tiers. So
Yeah.
it's people go, but I love McGovern. I love Zach. You can love him, but you got to be brutal in this business, Patto. Collingwood got rid of Trelaw that year. When they had the salary cap squeeze, they were brutal, and everyone's going, "Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Look at their list. Look at their list." And then 2 years later, they win the flag. We're too nice. We're too nice, and that's the issue at the moment. And we were brutal this offseason, I must say, with a few guys, Kennedy, Carroll, which I loved. They couldn't find a way in the midfield. Of course they're handy players to have, but we were brutal. Now, if it gets to the stage where we're not playing finals or we're sneaking into finals, not impacting grand finals, we have to blow it up. We have to blow it up. You keep the core superstars, but it's those Zach Williams types. Like you bring him in as a midfielder, goes down back, he's playing forward. Not his issue. Not saying his output is not good enough, but what the fuck are we doing here, Pato? Premiership teams don't have guys playing up forward, playing back, players down back, playing up forward. Like it's a makeshift team, isn't it? Really, it is. Lewis Young playing forward, Kemp playing forward. Putting Sauce down back, who was great, but once again a forward going down back. It's you got players all over the place.
Yep. As you always do, spot on. Absolutely spot on. Every single thing you said then was like I couldn't have said it better. And I'll just say this right now to the viewers that are watching this and to the listeners as well on the podcast platforms. If we are touching on players and it is a little bit sensitive to you, because we are speaking about players, and if you don't agree, that's absolutely fine. Like we like to come on here because it actually is a bit of therapy. So
Yes.
if you complete like if you do not want to watch us, not necessarily rip him, but ask the honest questions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not saying that Sam
No.
Doherty should
No.
retire at the end of the year because he's not good enough. We're not saying that, but we're asking the honest questions, and we
Yeah.
don't know the answers, but that's why we do this so we can then have the comments, which we love to reply to, and actually get everyone talking because we're all going through it together. So
Yeah.
if it actually is a little bit too much for the viewers and the listeners, that is actually fine because everyone goes through it differently. But right now, I just think we need to touch on some players that we look at
Yeah.
and are they actually going to take us to another level with where we are right now? And I think when I look at the list, they're like, I mean, Matt Duffy, Hudson O'Keefe, Alex Chincotta, Jordan Boyd, Billy Wilson, Rob Monahan, Matthew Carroll, Harry Lemmy, Harry Charlson, Jackson Binns. Harry O'Farrell has been drafted this year, so quite stiff on him. Lucas Camporelli as well has been drafted this year. Corey Durden, Brody Kemp, Orazio Fantasia.
Yeah. Not good enough. He's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
He's not good enough.
Lockie Fogarty. We touch on these players and it's like, oh yeah, we get a premiership side reject. That's fine. That's going to take us to the promised land. We get Jordan Boyd, who's a VFL reject. Nothing on these players. It's down to the club if you recruit them, and I feel like it's kind of more the development. It's not even
that's
the
the
player.
issue.
It's not the player. It is the development, and some players are developed to an absolute T. Patrick Cripps, Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, Jacob Wiedering, Tom DeConning.
But the issue is they're high picks.
Exactly right. Right.
Like we never have like. I'm trying to look. I can't be fucked looking at the Dogs, but they've got guys like, I don't know, Buku fucking Karmas or, Riley West. They get the most out of them. They don't turn them into, they don't have to be superstars, Patto. You got your Bontempellis and your whatever, but you have those other guys who just do their fucking thing. They do their thing, and it's frustrating. And I hate, this. Surely they are good enough to get it done.
And they are. We've seen it.
That's the frustrating part. That's the most frustrating now. Like that's good. That team should be betting that team on paper. And I'm sick of saying on paper. I'm sick of it. And people can laugh at us. I'm sure there's people watching, blah, 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 blah. But if your team for decades and decades and decades and decades ruined star players, if we have another decade of Paddy Cripps not winning a flag, Harry Mackay not winning a flag, Charlie Curnow not winning a flag, it's the same thing over again. Could you imagine? I think that's more realistic. I think we are no chance at the moment. We are furthest. Like I just think we're so far from a flag at the moment.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
100%.
They can't be consistent. They just can't.
100%.
When the pressure comes on, they all fail. They all fail. And I'm not blaming individuals. There's obviously stars that lead, and Wiedering always steps up.
Of course.
But as a collective, they just find a way to butcher it. And I know that, right now they're fucking probably hurting, right? Everyone goes, oh, they're not hurt. They would be hurting. You've played footy locally. Everyone's played footy locally. When you lose and you try your guts out, I'm not saying anything about that. But it's just they just can't find ways to just finish it off. I'm at the point where I'm empty and I'm just on low, not even angry. I left the stadium. I've just gone, wow, okay. You know what I mean? Like when Norton kicked the goal, I knew we were fucked.
Yep.
Knew we wouldn't fire a shot. It's the same old story. We've said it on a billion. How many episodes have we done on this shit?
I'd
Probably
love to know.
hundreds, right?
Yep.
How many times have we said the same stuff over again at 12:30 a.m.?
Yeah. When
How many times?
when that when that goal went through, Norton's got what I felt at the end of the game, and it was like I feel like it was actually like
Mm,
it was actually sadness of like
yeah. Yeah.
like I've never cried at a game. Like closest maybe round 23
Yeah.
against the Boys 2022.
I
Maybe.
definitely did shed a few tears that day. I can
But, like,
guarantee you.
yeah, but it like tonight was just like I think tonight was just and it's only round 3, so I don't want to go because
Still though.
like I don't want to look back at if like round 19 we might be top 4 and then look back at because I don't want to be that type of person. I still want to be optimistic, but
Yeah.
tonight was
Yeah.
just a realization of what we're bringing right now. It's just not good enough.
No, it's
You know,
not.
and I don't know when the club will actually come out and
Oh,
actually voice
yeah.
that it isn't good enough. But you know what I've realized as well, and I don't know if oh, fucking speak, if it's down to like we love to look back at our history and what the history
Mm.
like what we've done in Carlton's history. It's fantastic, right? 16
Yeah,
premierships, awesome. We
fantastic.
we always love to celebrate the past players. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
And I I just feel like we honor the past and look at the past so much more than the future. And we're doing it now with the 2023 prelim. That happened. That happened. I literally
Yeah.
remember posting on that night saying, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. But it's like, when I look back at that, it's like, yeah, well, I mean, it happened. It's great. But it's like we still lost in a prelim. This isn't,
Mm.
that's not the end goal.
5 goals up.
That's not what this side is the like that's like is that really what this side is that the furthest this side can go?
Mm.
I look at that and I'm like, I just feel like we are so delusional and we are so like as soon as we
Yeah.
just get a little bit of success, we are
Mm.
so happy at that time. Be like, oh yeah, nah, it's all right that we lost in the prelim to Brisbane after being 5 goals up. It's all good. Yeah, we ran it. Yeah, we ran out of legs. That's fine. But now looking back at that, it's just
Yeah.
it's not. It's actually, and I feel like that's the problem because we kind of accept. Oh yeah, that's all right. We like not honourable losses because it was a fantastic run, but
Yeah.
2023 was very inconsistent.
Mm.
Like our first
Again.
half was terrible.
Yeah.
So like we have
Mm.
not put a consistent season together
Mm.
since probably 1999. That's before
Yep.
we were even born. And like, of course,
Yeah.
sides don't have a consistent season. Like, they're not going to be the exact same, but they lose 3 or 4 games a season. The top teams, we
Yeah.
always find ourselves 5th to 8th,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
either a great run or
Yep.
a great run
Yeah.
through the season and shit the bed.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
we look too far into the past and don't look into the present and the future enough?
Yeah, I think there's a few instances where we just need to just lay off the history sometimes.
Mhm.
Like I said before, we're at a stage where we're 30-year drought, biggest drought ever in the club's history, which is embarrassing. And we're just accepting this, going through the motions, losing games, like you said, the prelim. I know it's a long time ago, the 2023 prelim, which we both accepted at the time, but I think that's not acceptable now. And I look at it
Yep.
like you're a 5 goal lead, run out of legs, and now we're still running out of legs. It is 2025, round 3, and we haven't won a game yet.
Yes.
And the older I've got, I've started to really acknowledge the teams that finish in the top 4. every year. So teams like Geelong, and people used to bag Geelong for a decade because they couldn't win a flag, right? They couldn't win a flag. It shows you how hard it is. Every year they back, so they lose at prelim, they win consistently home and away, and people go, "Oh, but they're a home and away team. They're a home and away." I would die to be a fucking home and away team.
Spot on.
They lose the Saints last week, right? I'll bet you bottom dollar they'll back it up tomorrow against the Lions. I'll back it in 100%, and that's what they are. They are an organisation that doesn't accept mediocrity. And I know I know people say Carlton accept. Of course, they're not accepting the losses, but there comes a time where you have to grab the season by the balls from the first round to round 24. You're not going to win every week, but when you have those 16 or 17 and you rock up to games and you go, we're winning this. We're winning this. Look at Geelong. Whenever we play Geelong, next time we play Geelong, whoever's listening, just look at their supporters rolling into the stadium. Look at their supporters. There's no stress. And you look at Carlton supporters, they're going, oh, fuck, they're all silent. They're all going, oh, what Carlton are we going to see today? They know what Geelong they're going to see today. Even if they lose, they'll still play well.
Exactly.
They'll have a system that, they'll have players that always step up, that always give themselves a chance to win the game. They lost the Saints last week and they almost fucking pinched it. Like, they don't fall down. They don't fall. They were 40 down last week and they lost by 7. We were a goal down and I knew we were fucked. It's the mindset. It's a completely different mindset. And we've got a better spine than Geelong. We'd have better top 5 players than they do.
But that's why... Sorry.
Like, they've got great players. But it's, once again, Patto, the good old 2 words, on paper.
And that's why it doesn't matter if we have the best 5 players in the comp.
No.
It doesn't actually matter.
No.
I don't want to keep hearing that. We've got the best ruckman in the comp, one of the best ruckmen in the comp, one of the best key defenders in the comp, one of the 2 best key forwards in the comp that any club would die for. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear two-time Brownlow medalists. I don't want to hear that. Because it then actually gives you the reality of we are wasting this era.
Yeah.
And you said there, you actually haven't acknowledged how good these top 4 sides are. But I'm not even speaking about in terms of performance. I'm talking about off-field as well. Geelong, Hawthorn, Sydney, and I hate to say it, you probably would say Collingwood as well. Yep. Those are the 4 sides that probably since, let's say 1995, they're probably the teams that have kind of always been around there. Of course, Sydney had a crap year in 2020 or 2021, I think it was. But what do? 2022, grand final. Yeah. So, and they're not changing a lot. They didn't change the coach. They didn't change their list. But they are sustainable off-field, which is key. That's why I want to go to a kind of a different subject, and shout out to Almost Blues Brothers. They actually brought this up in their review episode last week on a Sunday night, and it popped up as a snippet on my Instagram, I think it was, but maybe it was YouTube, sorry, like a snippet. They mentioned the board, right? The Carlton board. And they were mentioning how Carlton, we don't have a lot of footy people on our board. Now, I don't know for sure, but I would love to see maybe in the preview show for the Pies this week, I might actually do some research about it. And I'm just curious. And I don't know if it is the board, because as you said, we are obviously doing something right because sponsors want to be a part of the club. We're still getting 100,000 members. It's great.
Yep.
I want to see what the difference is and what I want to put Geelong.
Yep.
Every single thing. And this is what I'm saying. Like 2023, we did a fucking mid-season review. So these answers should have been sorted out then. Geelong, Carlton, every single thing that is happening within the club, inside and out, sponsors-wise.
Yep.
Compare them. Compare the pair. Brian Cook, you are from fucking Geelong. You are one of the great masterminds that probably was, I mean, not a key reason, but I'm sorry, probably not the main reason, but a key reason as to why they were so dominant 2007 to 2014 and still are now. So I would love to work out why. And I'm just overlooking at the list and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Because we've been saying this since 2020. Like, this fucking rebuild, we are wasting it.
Yeah, I
and
know.
I'm looking at it tonight and I'm like, this list is not good enough. But you then look from an external point of view, and I don't want to keep adding I don't want to keep adding levers to this question, but it's more like you look at it about like Harry Mackay and Elijah Hollins and what they're going through. I would love to know if that is. I'm bloody hoping that that's just a personal matter, but I'm really hoping that's not within the club, in a toxic environment within the club. Because from an external point of view, I probably wouldn't be surprised if it was started and ignited within the club. And I'm bloody hoping, and there's no information about that, so that's why we're not going to really touch on it too much. But I would just love to see the best of the best, which is Geelong, from the past probably 50 years, let's be real, to what we are going through right now, and just put one next to each other. Tell me what is different and what we need to improve on. And maybe Geelong might be crap in 5 years and not win another flag for 20 years. I don't know. We don't know the future.
Yeah.
But we can only go off what we are seeing right now. And as you say, I love, like, we go back to it week by week.
Yeah.
We are shit. We are shit right now, Daf.
Yes, we are. I'm just laughing because it's just laughable.
Yep.
I'm not laughing at you, but
no,
it's
of
just
course.
Like,
I'm the same. I was laughing after the game almost. I'm like,
it's legit like that. It's not even angry. It's just like, it's just, they just, and it's like you say, we are wasting the era. We are wasting a fucking era. Look at these superstars. Like, and people go, but you know, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Look at these players. Look at these players we have. They would die for TDK. They would die for Kerner. Wiedering's the best defender in the league. Should have about 4 All-Australians. Harry Mackay's not even playing.
Yeah.
Cripps. Sard even. Guys like that. With it, like, only Carlton would ruin this. Only Carlton would fuck this up. Like, imagine Hawthorn, if they had Mackay and Kerr, they would be the best fucking team for the next 10 years. It'd be a roughy buddy type situation. If we just continue, like, the biggest name for me, you're just letting Cripper down, are you? Tries his guts out, even tonight. He's trying his absolute guts out. How many games does he have to be? He's at 30 years. He shouldn't be being the main guy all the time now, should he? Like, he should be, he's going to have games where he's the standout, but like, you got guys like Shearer and Walsh and guys who should be stepping up and taking it. They're not match winners at the moment, those other guys. Unfortunately, we love Walsh, I love Shearer. They're not match winners, Patto.
Mm-hmm.
What are they paid to fucking do, Patto? Win games for fucking Carlton Footy Club. Not get 25 touches and impact the game minimal. Like, it's just annoying, man.
I'm looking at it as well. And you mentioned earlier about McGovern and Williams, about these might be the players that might be on the fringe at the end of the year in terms of, sorry, guys, we are offering you a contract.
Yeah.
We are going in a different direction. And unfortunately, you are not a part of our plans. We did it last year. We gave Matt Kennedy, we pushed these guys out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Probably have another chance to do it at the end of the year. Do you think a guy like Blake Acres, the past few weeks, is one of those players? He needs to lift tremendously. Yes, he's won us games of football in 2023.
Yeah, and he's been good,
And that was one of my favourite moments as a Carlton supporter. But to start 2025, he has not been up to scratch. I'm sorry. No. He's been terrible.
No.
And we don't want to shit on players, but we need to give honest feedback and answer honest questions. You are not. We're going to drop you to the VFL, Blake Acres. Go there and show us exactly what we want you to do. Do that week after you're back in. But make some fucking statements for once in your life.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so frowned upon. And I've been saying that the past few weeks a lot. I just don't, I can't understand why we can't make some huge decisions. Play a Billy Wilson.
Yeah. My worry is back to the whole, are the guys underneath good enough? Like, are you willing to drop a guy? I know Akers has been bad.
No,
I think
you're completely right.
I think he's the best 22 player.
Yeah.
And, I know he's been shit. I agree. But you just can't.
Can't drop him. Yep.
You can't drop him, I don't think. It's a bit of a worry, but yeah, there's too many names that are just playing really under themselves at the moment, which, when you need to be a good side, your bottom 10 need to be 5 to 10% better than they were the season before, or 5 to 10% better than their probably best can be. Yeah, but yeah, you look at that side, fuck. Win the game of football. Fuck me. You're letting Lathan fucking Vandermeer kick goals. Slim fucking Shady with his blonde hair. Like, seriously? Like, it's becoming a circus, mate. We're letting Riley West look like he's fucking prime Eddie Betts. Me.
Another thing I realised tonight is when Vandermeer kicked that goal, went straight to Akers, nothing. No sort of backup is there.
Oh, no, it was 1v6.
1v6, and I'm like, all right. They're probably at a point of the episode where it's a little bit later. There is no in the side.
You're right.
There is no CUNT in this side. It's appalling.
Yeah.
I'd probably, like, people say, oh, what is Jason Horn-Francis doing fighting with the opponent? What is Harley Reid doing fighting with the opponent? Yes, they're probably off the ball, and yes, you probably wouldn't do it. But at least he's showing a bit of that fight. You don't need every player to do it. But if Blake Acres is 1 out of 6 and Vandermeer was the one that ran to him and gave him a bit of lip because he got pinned holding the ball, and Vandermeer probably knew, oh, you're pretty stiff there, mate, but fuck you, I'm going to fucking go straight to you because you kicked a goal. Well done, Slim Shady. Fuck me, mate. And I saw it. Players walked by.
Yeah.
God, if that was my fucking teammate, I would be right in the middle of that saying, get fucked, mate. You just kicked a goal. Fuck off. But you would do the exact same thing, no?
Yes,
So
you'd be there to support him. You don't have to throw punches, but you just got to get in there.
Support, exactly.
And I need to see, and what I need to see more of that, like you said, with the extra stuff, like opponent fucks up a kick, get into him.
Exactly.
Hit him in the chest, go, fuck those shit, mate. You are shit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Collingwood, I'll watch next week. We'll have a set shot. Next week. We'll miss. And a guy like McCreary, we hate these guys, but they get in the head of the opponent. And what happens, Patto? We get frazzled and we lose our mind and we don't focus on the game and we retaliate. But it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. And I'm sick of this.
Yeah. And you watch, they'll probably show a bit of fight in the first quarter next week against the Pies.
Suck us in.
Give him a red hot crack. 10 points down, third quarter. We win this game, it's going to reignite our season. But don't you worry. Dan Houston will show us exactly what he is doing and exactly why we chose to not pick him up. We said to Dan, no, mate, we know that you want to come to the Carlton Football Club, but we actually kindly decline. Go play for the filth. And he's probably their most important player right now. He's played, 2 games. So pretty, oh no, 1 game I think it is actually. No, 2 games. I think it's 2 games, but it doesn't matter. Crazy stuff. But I know we are, and apologise as well for, I guess, the profanity in the episode, but I think it's actually valid. Like usually we kind of stay clear from that. I mean, yes, we dropped the F-bomb, but that's the first time that we've actually said the C word. And I think that's kind of it's just how we feel right now because we are so over it. It is not like it's not even over because we were over it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling right now because I don't know what to say. I honestly do not know what else to say until they start to action some stuff on the field to give us a reason. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 80,000 supporters next week and 10,000 is Carlton. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't even blame people at this point.
Would not blame them.
And I wouldn't even go, like, people go, oh, but lack of loyalty. No. It's if they do not perform over a certain amount of time, they do not deserve the support. I'll be there next week. I know you'll be there next week. But it's like, don't be going bagging people going, they can choose whatever they want to choose.
Exactly right.
We're wasting our hours on a Friday night watching these idiots lose games. Like, people are driving across the state. We're lucky to be, close to the fucking stadiums. You got people coming from Bendigo. You got people coming from Mildura. People flying into state going, oh, I can't wait. See my boys live. Yeah. And people don't think about that either. We're not the hardest done by. There's people coming from far and wide to watch the team play. And it's disappointing. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what else we can say. I think we got to get to these fucking votes.
They book a hotel, book the flights. So excited. Families there. Oh, weekend in Melbourne. Fantastic.
Got their gear on.
They probably upgraded a ticket because it's the first time that they've been able to go to Melbourne this year, and they give absolutely fuck all like every week. But it's all right. These guys get their paychecks. All right. It's all right. Michael Voss was happy with the effort. Nah, it's all right. We only make one change next week. Nah, it's all good. These guys who are safe players, they get security every week because they're probably guaranteed a game. Even though they perform extremely poorly, they will still be guaranteed a game. It's a corrupt club, and I'm so fucking over it. And Daf, love your thoughts about. Let's move straight to our. Just before we do move on to our votes, I thought I would touch on Zach Williams about the Achilles soreness. That's very unfortunate. And let's hope it's not anything more than that. I know that it probably was a little bit precautionary, but we know what happened last time with. We were acting like he was precautionary, and Jagger Smith did his ACL. So don't really want to bring another negative onto the episode, Duffy Boy, but I just thought I'll throw that out there. But hopefully Zach Williams is okay because I think in the first quarter, especially, he was actually quite solid. So hopefully he's good to go. And yeah, just thought we would touch on that. But Duff, let's move on to probably the only segment tonight, realistically, but it is the bagger of the game votes. For the people who don't know this, we go through 3, 2, 1, just like the Brownlow system. 3 votes for the best player, 2 votes for the second best player, and 1 vote for the third best player on the ground. Carlton players only. Daff, your 3, 2, 1 bagger of the game votes. What have you got?
Yeah, I thought there was probably 6 or 7 guys who could have fit into the votes. I thought there was a few major contributors tonight, but I'll start off, go 1 vote. 1 vote to Brody Kemp. I thought he was really good. 5 goals, could have been 2 or 3 votes, but the 2 guys ahead of him I just thought were superb in their roles tonight. So yeah, good to see. Kemp had some space. He was leading at the footy a little bit more tonight, which was good to see. Didn't have it kind of sitting on top of his head as much. Which is ball use going inside 52, but also as a forward, creating his space, leading patterns, things like that. So, no, it was good to see. And he finished off his work, which was it's always kind of been a negative part of his game when he plays forward the ball. Sometimes he can't finish off stuff, but it was really good to see. 2 votes, Jack Silvani. Gee whiz, he looks very good. And I think we've found, for me, and I think we've found the second guy next to Wiedering for this season. I think we just lock that up. I think we just go, he's the second guy. And then, you can just play for the spots for Haynes and McGovern and see how they can fit in as the third tools and stuff like that. But yeah, geez, he was good tonight, Jack. There was times where he was on Darcy when Wiedering came off and he was really good. He's a Silvani. He gives it 100% every single week. But he also was quality tonight. He was taking grabs, hitting targets. It wasn't just effort. It was quality. So that was good. And 3 votes. I don't even need to say his name, do I? Tom De Koning. I think he's probably leading the bagger of the year at the moment by a fair length.
Yep.
And he's probably almost got it sewed up.
Exactly like Paddy Cruz last year, mate. Probably had had it sewed up by round one, mate. But even opening round. But I like your votes, and I'll give you a bit of a spoiler that they're the exact same votes from my end. I think you to a stretch you can probably say that Lewis Young was quite solid as well. Jacob Wienering did his role. I think he did his, as well as he could on Sam Darcy all night. Adam Chera, George Hewitt, those guys were solid, but I think the 3 for me is obviously the exact same as yours. 1 vote, I'll give it to Jack Silvani. I think I just want to give Brody Kemp 2 votes because him kicking 5 goals is a great outing. So I think he will get my 2 votes, Brody Kemp, and 3 votes, don't even need to say it, Tom De Koning. Very, very good game, and probably the best game in navy blue, and it well and truly shows right there that he is our sole ruckman, and we need to put some trust into him to, when Pitto is available, that he is our man and he will be there until maybe he's out of form or maybe he's injured or suspended. I don't want Pittonet and Tom De Koning. I think it's quite clear. And I was thinking about it, but I'm like, after tonight, past few weeks, it is clear that Tom De Koning is the point of difference, and he's probably the only player that really kept us in the game well and truly tonight, ahead of the ball. I mean, Jack Silvani did great down back, but Tom De Koning was keeping us in the game. And as you said, the defensive marks that he's really improved on, I think it's really good. So that is very good to see. But Daf, that was not pretty raw episode, and I think I will probably apologize for the profanity used, and we don't usually do it, but it's just, I don't even know why I need to apologize for it, because it's just simply not good enough, and we're so over it, and we support the club, and we are apologizing for the way that we react to a game of football. But anyways, Dav, before we wrap up the episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we head into the preview for, the Collingwood Football Club next week?
Could you get a worse game to head in 0-3? Could you? I don't think you could. Very worried about next week. I don't think we're a chance. I just don't think we're good enough at the moment based off the 3 games. Obviously, we're going to be there supporting. I'm not sure how they don't deserve our support at the moment, but I will be in attendance. I don't know if I'll be supporting, but I don't know. It's frustrating. The frustrating part is it's like we haven't even had really a positive game to look at the start of the season yet. Like, imagine if we go 0-4 and then the first win's West Coast. Like, we'll fucking take it, but it's starting to feel like a waste of year already. But like we say, let's focus week by week. We just focused on the Dogs that we just lost to, and now got to focus on Collingwood. Oh my God, it could be that review. If we lose that game, that review could be the biggest video on YouTube history views wise. That could break the Baggers chat record, I reckon, if we lose next week in a bad fashion.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know why people would come on and watch it. Like, if I was there, I mean, obviously we have to promote our content, but I just feel like. Sorry,
I would avoid it. I'd avoid it at all costs. It's like watching the footy show. Sometimes you just go, I don't even want to watch it.
Yeah, I know. You just hit the nail on the head. I'm not thinking about Carlton and whatever, but I'm at work tomorrow and working on the AFL. You probably will be working on the weekend. Yes. We're going to be watching footy. Brilliant. We're going to be watching great footy, be like, why can't Carlton be like that? No, we're never going to see it.
Nah.
So, no bigger task next week. The filth. The filthy maggots. But, the preview next week, like we're saying, we're not really going to care. Yeah, we will care in the preview. A few days to to reset Duffy Boy and heading to tipping the Blues next week in the preview show. But no, I mean, I'm saying this right now. I'm not tipping Arsenal. I think you're the exact same. No way.
No,
Not going to. No way. They don't even fucking deserve it. No. But to every single blue bagger out there, I understand if you don't want to listen to the content. I honestly do. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets 0 views, but it's purely down to what Daph and I love to do. And it's just come on, talk about the club that we love, just like good mates. And yeah, it's just tough, but it's always great speaking with you, mate, about Carlton, the club that we love, and to know that someone's as passionate as you are, and it's the exact same as me. It's good to always speak about it. But to every single blue bagger out there, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It does support the channel, but I also do understand if you don't want to really put any more Carlton content into your face, which is pretty shit because it is what we love to do. But people probably wouldn't even listen because they're just over it, which I completely understand. But please like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube, but also check out our podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music as well. There's a few others out there that you can watch the audio version to this podcast, and also check out our socials, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as well. There's a few others out there that there's a lot of content coming your way. But to you, Duffy boy, and to every single blue bagger out there. Up the baggers.